Is there much pain? Do you have an injury, or are you fine for Sunday?
Nah, I just wanted some attention, man, because my mom wouldn't talk to me yesterday, so I needed some attention from somebody. Nah, I'm good, though.
You plan on playing on Sunday?
Yeah, baby, I'm good, baby.
Dolphins receiver Tyreek Hill back at practice on Thursday. The way that quarterback Tua Tagovailoa spoke about Hill on Wednesday, it just created this weird impression he was going to be out for a while, because he said something along the lines of, we'll get Tyreek back down the line at some point. Like, what are you talking about? So looks like they're not going to miss him at all. He has a hip injury. It happened late in the game against the Eagles, but it looks like he'll be good to go for the Patriots coming to town on Sunday. 2-5 Patriots, 5-2 Dolphins. Fill in the blank for me, Peter. Dolphins will bounce back from their loss to the Eagles by what against the Patriots?
A touchdown. Not a lot. And I think the reason is that, look, the Dolphins are a better team. But I think what the Patriots proved last week is that they're not hopeless. And if their quarterback plays well, they're not hapless. And I talked to Mac Jones after the game, and what really interested me about our conversation, and look, you expect guys to say the right things when you talk to them after games, particularly quarterbacks. They are well schooled in what Bernie Kosar once told me is the fifth quarter. And I said, the fifth quarter? He goes, yeah, it's standing up in front of the public and talking after a game. And basically, if the sky is falling, making sure that everybody knows, hey, the sky isn't falling. And if you just won by 20, to make sure that everybody knows that, hey, we haven't arrived yet. We still got a long way to go. Basically, making sure the waters are calm. But what really impressed me about Mac Jones is that I'm going to read you a couple of sentences from him. And I thought as soon as we got off the phone, this guy has played 7 years at high-level college football and in the NFL. And his two coaches have been Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. So I'll read you. When I asked him, how hard is it when you consider all the stuff that is going around and swirling outside the building, both about your team and about Bill Belichick? And he said, I wouldn't say it's hard at all. You got to know that what's going on outside the building doesn't matter. It's only what we're doing inside the building. And that's easy to say. But Mike, if you've played for Bill Belichick and you've played for Nick Saban, you get used to not paying attention to the rat poison. And I'm not being critical of anybody, media, coach, anybody, anything. I'm just simply stating a fact. When your team is kind of in the toilet, the way the Patriots were, the reason that I always think that it's never going to be really bad is just the same reason why I think that way with the Steelers. Because Bill Belichick and Mike Tomlin have a hold of that locker room. And they're not going to let it happen. They're not going to let ridiculous losses build on each other. And that's why I think the Patriots will play a competitive game Sunday.
One of the things about Bill Belichick, and I think this is one of the reasons why Brandon Staley is going to be out of a job by the time the season ends, if not sooner, Belichick knows how to play the teams in his division. He knows how to defend the offenses in his division. He shut down the Bills last week. He'll keep it close with the Dolphins. And I'm with you. 27-20, I think, is the wild guess that I pulled out of thin air yesterday, but I think the Dolphins by 7 makes sense. The Dolphins are too good for the Patriots to outscore, especially in Miami, but Belichick knows that team well enough, knows how to defend it to keep it close. And I mentioned Staley, not for gratuitous reasons. I like Brandon Staley, but when you face Travis Kelce twice a year and you don't cover him at all, that's a problem. That's a guy in your division that you should be all over all the time, and Bill Belichick would not let that stand because he doesn't let it stand. He won't let Tyreek Hill kill the Patriots on Sunday. Someone else will supply the points, but he'll make sure it's not Tyreek Hill. You mentioned the Steelers. Jaguars 5-2 coming to town. The Jaguars hold the distinction once upon a time of beating the Steelers twice in Pittsburgh the same season, regular season, and then later in the playoffs. The Steelers surprisingly 4-2. Let's have a listen to George Pickens, Steelers receiver, on the Jacksonville defense that will be coming to the field formerly known as Heinz.
I think their D-line, they depend on their D-line a lot. With their team, having a lot of first-round guys on that D-line, that's what they depend on a lot. And they kind of, hope, hope the guys hold up long enough, hope. So it's kind of a hope defense for sure.
That's the kind of comment that could maybe get some folks in Jacksonville's attention, but I don't think it matters. I think if the Steelers commit to getting the ball to George Pickens whenever he's single covered or scheming ways to get to him, and I feel like they're getting there. Kenny Pickett talked about it earlier this week to Adam Shine of SiriusXM Mad Dog Radio. We got to get this guy the ball when he's one-on-one, and I think there's some merit to what he's saying. I don't know that I'd say it out loud until after the game, but yeah, Jaguars rely on their front four to get to the quarterback, and if they don't, you got some opportunities on the back end.
Yeah, and I don't want to go back to another conversation, but I spoke with Pickett for 20, 25 minutes in camp, and he emphasized how important it was going to be this year to learn to throw to George Pickens when he had people on him, because he's so competitive in contested catches. And I think that is an urgent thing that the Steelers have to do, because Pickens, to me, is so much better. He's so clearly the best skill player on this team right now. So I think you're going to continue to see that. And look, that I also think that Pickens could throw more interceptions too because of this. That really doesn't bother me, because I think the reward is going to be great if he continues to try to form this bond with Pickens.
So buy or sell, George Pickens will torch the Jaguars secondary on Sunday.
What does torch mean exactly? Does that mean over 100 yards?
Let's say over 90.
I'll buy that, because I think that the mentality inside this team right now is we're going to give him 8 to 10 chances. And I think he will, I think he'll get around 100 yards this game, because I think he's going to have enough chances to make those plays.
And by the way, before we move on, I'm reminded of this every time I see video from inside the Steelers practice locker room. There's something quaint about it, because it just doesn't seem very nice. And it's like somebody's basement. If we have a shot of that, they got the drop ceiling, they got stuff piled up everywhere. They're just hanging out in somebody's basement. It's just, I like that. There's just something about that feels like it's got a little bit of a throwback element to it. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.